Chapter 8, Gappy is grounded. As he continued on home, Gappy thought about Butch. So what just happened there? He asked himself. Could it be that mind-reading, telepathy stuff Mom and Dad were telling me about? He stooped to sniff some honeysuckle that was growing in Mrs. Pritchett's yard. They didn't say it worked on animals. I mean, when it first happened, I wasn't even thinking of doing telepathy. Didn't even know I could do it yet. After all, I only just found out about this vampire stuff yesterday. It really did seem like Butch heard me, though. He took a deep breath and blew it out hard. Wow, that was amazing. I wonder if I could do it again. He passed his neighbor's cat sitting on the wall cleaning herself. Hello, Tabby, he told her with his mind. The cat ignored him and continued washing. Gappy thought. My head doesn't feel as clear as it did at the old house when I was so angry at Billy. Maybe it was feeling angry that made my thoughts more powerful. He shifted his book bag to his other shoulder. I can sort of understand now why a vampire's talents can be a big responsibility. I'm not sure how what I just did fits in with the vampire code of conduct, but hey, I helped Timmy out, didn't I? As Gappy said this to himself, a warm, fuzzy feeling started spreading throughout his whole body. He felt so excited it was difficult not to run down the street, yelling and screaming at the top of his voice. Then he calmed down a little when he thought about what Mom's reaction might be. He had a feeling she wouldn't be too happy at his news. Too soon, he muttered, imitating Mom. Oh well, she'll just have to accept it. It wasn't my fault. It's not like I tried to do it. It just happened. He reached his house and raced up the steps to the front door. Mom! He yelled as he burst into the house like a tornado, throwing his book bag on the floor and nearly knocking over Mom's favorite vase of artificial ferns. Guess what I did? What's that, dear? Mom called from the living room. Just something totally awesome and amazing, Gappy said excitedly, running into the living room and throwing himself down on the couch. You know that bully, Billy Tompkins? Well, Prue and I caught him bullying Timothy Dalo at the empty house on our way home from school. He was threatening to smash Timmy's model of the White House that he and his dad had made. You should see it, Mom. It's really great. It took them ages to put it together. And Mr. Dempsey even put it in the glass case at the front of the school where all the trophies are. Anyway, Billy was going to smash it. His dog Butch was there too, looking pretty scary, like growling and everything. Prue and I stopped, but we couldn't really do anything. Like, Billy's bigger than me and much bigger than Prue. So, what happened then? Mom asked, smiling at his excitement. Well, I had to try and do something, so I ran up to the house, and I just happened to be looking at Butch and thinking he was a stupid dog, when he yelped like you heard me. That made me think of the mind-reading thing we were talking about last night, so I decided to try it on Butch. I beamed a thought at him to go home and guess what, Mom? Mom straightened up from unwinding the cord of the vacuum cleaner and stood dead still, a frown on her face. What? She said in a stern voice. Uh-oh, Gappy thought. But he had started his story, so he decided to finish. Well, I couldn't believe it. Butch actually put his tail between his legs and started running home like I'd told him to do. Billy was so surprised that by the time he chucked Timmy's model off the porch, I'd managed to get close enough to catch it. Billy ran off after Butch, really mad that I'd spoiled his little bit of bullying, and Timmy... Gappy trailed off at the worsening look on his mother's face. What's the matter, Mom? His mother sat down on the edge of Gappy's chair and drilled him with her eyes. This is just great, Gappy. Exactly the sort of thing I was afraid might happen if we gave you too much information too soon. For goodness sake! You only just found out that you're a vampire, and the next day you're already playing around with skills like telepathy? I knew you wouldn't be very happy at my news, Gappy said. But I couldn't just walk on by and do nothing, could I? I don't know, Gappy, but you've got to realize these talents you're going to be developing as time goes on aren't toys for you to just play with whenever you want. It's like playing with fire. You're too young and you don't know how dangerous it can be. What's especially dangerous is the risk of regular humans finding out what you can do. We talked about this last night, but I'm going to tell you again. If Regs found out, who knows what would happen? Not to mention getting us all into trouble with the Vampire Council. They'd probably have to do some major damage control and... Vampire Council, Gappy thought. What's that? Some kind of vampire government agency? Well, Mom sure won't be pleased if I tell her Prue just about hit the nail on the head. Anyway, I'm sure Prue doesn't really believe I actually beamed thoughts at Butch, so I guess I'll keep it to myself. Okay, Mom, he broke in when his mother paused for breath. I'm really sorry, but I don't think you have to worry. Billy and Prue and Timmy don't know anything. They might think it a bit strange the way Butch acted, but they just think he got spooked by something and ran off. That's all. No harm done." "Well, we'll see," Mom said. "Just cross your fingers that your little escapade doesn't get noticed in some high-up places. My nerves are going to be all shot now, waiting to hear if we're going to be disciplined by the council. You can't hide anything from those people. They always find out somehow." Gappy didn't like the sound of that. "What will they do, Mom?" But his mother was done talking. She got up quickly and yanked the vacuum cleaner toward her by its cord, as if she were mad at that, too. "Go to your room," she ordered, "and don't come down till your father gets home." "But, Mom," Gappy wailed. "But nothing, Gustavus," Mom told him sternly. "Up to your room." Muttering to himself, Gappy did as he was told and trudged up the stairs. He felt cross that instead of praising him for being a hero, Mom was mad at him. And it's not even that big a deal, he thought. What did I do? Just beam thoughts at a stupid dog? Not even people. He threw himself on his bed and opened his textbook. How was he supposed to concentrate on geography when all he could think about was what was going to happen when Dad came home? Mom was probably going to push for some kind of punishment, too. When Dad arrived, Gappy could hear his mother telling him about his so-called escapade. Judging by the way her voice was growing louder and louder, it sounded as if she were getting pretty upset all over again. "Gappy, get down here!" she eventually yelled up the stairs. Gappy went down to the living room. Mom looked like she had been crying, but Dad didn't look too mad, thank goodness. "Gappy, Mom told me about what you did today," Dad began, "and I want you to know I agree with her totally. It's very dangerous to go playing around with your skills willy-nilly whenever you feel like it, especially when you're so new at this vampire business and don't know anything yet. It's also true that the Vampire Council may very well get involved." He put on a pompous voice as if he were quoting from a book. "Any act by a vampire that threatens to expose our people or risks destroying our harmonious coexistence with regs is taken very seriously indeed. Yes, even when it's a mere 9-year-old, inexperienced vampire. After all, you could be putting the whole vampire race in danger." Gappy tried to butt in, but Dad waved him to be quiet and listen. "Now, from what I understand, it's likely no harm has been done this time because the regs didn't know what they were seeing. Is that correct?" "Yes, Dad," Gappy mumbled, looking down at his shoes. "All right, then. Let this be a lesson to you, and listen carefully." He put on his pompous voice again. "Do not use any vampire skills in the presence of regular humans, or in any situation where regular humans might see or suddenly come upon you doing any kind of vampire activity. Is that clear?" "Yes, Dad," Gappy mumbled again. "But, Dad, seeing as I don't know what other skills I might be developing as time goes on, how can I guard against them?" "You'll know," Dad said. "And I think I do now agree with Mom when she says she doesn't want to tell you too much too soon. We told you about telepathy, and look what happened." He looked at Gappy's crestfallen face. "Don't worry. All your skills will show themselves gradually, and we'll handle them one at a time as they appear. Mom's right when she says you should have as normal a childhood as possible, because there are going to be times ahead when it won't be so easy. Now, your mother and I have discussed your punishment, and we've decided to ground you for a week." "Aw, Dad," Gappy protested. "A whole week? Don't I get any credit for helping Timmy get rid of a bully?" "I'm sure that was very admirable," Mom put in, "but vampire safety comes first, and you have to learn that." "Yeah, okay," Gappy pouted. "I get it." Shoot. Now he would have to make some excuse to Prue as to why he couldn't go to the movie they had planned to see that weekend. He couldn't very well tell her his parents had grounded him for being a hero, could he? Dad looked at Mom. "So, dear, why don't we all have some dinner and try to forget about this for now, if we can?" "What about the Vampire Council?" Mom asked. "I'm going to be worrying myself sick, thinking about what they're going to say when they find out about this." "Well, at this point, we don't even know that they will find out," Dad reasoned. "And you can't be worrying yourself about something that might never happen. This incident concerned only a dog, so maybe the council won't consider it important enough to bother about. We'll just have to wait and hope for the best." "I hope you're right, Bert," Mom said, eyeing Gappy's sulky face. "I really hope you're right." The end. Visit Gappy at www.gappy.tv.